Good morning. Welcome to Thursday's edition of Everything Yesterday This Morning. Hope you guys had a great Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and dive in. So, the majority of my topics usually surround politics, science, and economics. I think, though, I'm going to start sprinkling in a bit more culture type subjects because if there is anywhere that I feel like we're losing, I guess, society is failing. Yesterday, I learned that there's a dating trend because apparently courtship and having dinners and finding common interests now must be, there's a trend to it. I learned of the term oystering, and I have to admit that at first I thought, oh God, am I going to have to look this up on Urban Dictionary and am I going to be horrified by what I find? Turns out it's being single. Being single is the new dating trend that is here to stay. The article says oystering is something that single people will actually enjoy. No, it doesn't mean you eat a lot of oysters and find your way through Singleton Kingdom. It uses the turn of phrase, the world is your oyster, and says to live your best life and embrace being single while enjoying your independence. So, again, the latest dating trend is being single. I feel like this is one of two things: another stage in the effort to eliminate the family, or an attempt to, albeit a pathetic one, reassure all of the progressive females that men refuse to date or don't date for very long that they're just living their best life. Slay, queen, slay. I'm going to start a trend, hashtag make courting great again. This is stupid. Being single is not dating. I mean, if you want to encourage people to figure their shit out, be independent of other people, live their best life in the meantime, fine. I think that's probably a good thing. But to call it a dating trend is ridiculous. Not everything needs to be forced. Ugh. Anyway, moving on to other topics. So I mentioned the avian flu that was circulating around the country a few weeks ago, but egg prices have skyrocketed because of the worst bird flu we've seen in 7 years. Going into Easter, this is not good for moms who have egg decorating planned. Indiana, you will be surprised to know, is the first nationally in duck production, second for eggs, and third for turkeys. We are essentially ground zero. Our first case was reported in Dubois County on February 8th. But since then, the flu has spread to farms and backyards across more than half the country and killed almost 25 million birds, 180,000 of which are here in Indiana. Turkeys and chickens have been hit the worst or hardest. During last week, the first case of bird flu in a commercial duck flock in the United States was detected in northern Indiana, and a second farm in the same county tested positive on Tuesday. There's a lot of concern within the poultry sector right now because these times are tough for everyone. And all of the farmers we are hearing from are on high alert, said Denise Spears, who is a spokesperson with the State Animal Health Board. Thankfully, the bird flu poses low risk to humans, but the economy and grocery prices have not been immune to the effects. In addition to the strain from inflation, the bird flu is driving up consumer prices for eggs and chicken. This week, for example, the weekly average price for a dozen eggs is nearly 3 times what it was last year. The average price of chicken breasts in the United States rose to above $4 per pound, and last year it was over $1 cheaper. Interestingly, the United States has the strongest bird flu surveillance program in the world. That's because birds aren't real and they're literally surveillance. Wah, wah. The agency recommends that anyone involved in poultry production, small backyard flocks, to commercial operations review biosecurity guidelines. A link is included in the article that I'll post to protect the health of their birds. All bird owners should prevent contact between wild birds and their birds, bringing them inside when possible, and report sick birds or unusual deaths to state and federal officials. Do you wonder if the avian flu was introduced intentionally? I'm not suggesting that it was, but what better way to find a scapegoat for all of your shortcomings by removing or at least significantly diminishing the largest protein source for the country? Just thinking out loud. Okay, y'all, this next story, frankly, is funny as all get out. So, Governor Abbott sent a bus carrying migrants from Texas to Washington, D.C. yesterday morning, which he had announced he was going to do last week in a press conference. And he said that migrants would be voluntarily sent to Washington so that President Biden could, quote, immediately address the needs of the people that they are allowing to come across our border. The redheaded she-demon, Jen Psaki, said that it was just a publicity stunt, saying, I'm not aware of what authority the governor would be doing that under. I think it's pretty clear this is a publicity stunt. His own office admits that a migrant would need to voluntarily be transported, and he can't compel them to because, again, enforcement of our country's immigration laws lies with the federal government, not a state. Well, this man was not playing. Not only did he deliver a bus yesterday morning, he also ordered the state to charter flights to transport migrants to the Capitol after they've been processed by DHS. She was pissed. In a statement yesterday, she said unnecessary and redundant inspections of trucks. She's trying to put the supply chain crisis on Abbott in exchange for him sending migrants to Washington, D.C. Saying that the inspections that he's doing of vehicles at the port of entries are causing disruptions to the food and automobile supply chains. So Abbott is facing re-election and running against two-time failure Beto O'Rourke. Beto or whatever the fuck his name is. The pretend one and the real one. I don't know. He's famously known for, hell yeah, we're going to take your AR-15. And really, he's just going to ride his skateboard, speak Spanish, and try to disarm you while he licks the government's boot, hoping you'll drop down on your knees with him. Okay, so I know y'all are probably tired of me talking about inflation and food prices, but I really am just hoping that you guys are prepared for what's coming. And I'm hoping that I can help you be knowledgeable so that your families can continue to thrive. Last month, we saw record gas prices, and now we can expect to pay more at the grocery store. The USDA's Food Price Outlook, which is the agency's consumer price index for food, which measures inflation, is up 7.9% from February. This is the largest increase since 1981. Grocery stores and supermarkets are expected to increase 3 to 4.5% more this year, after already seeing a 6.8% jump year over year. Restaurant purchases are also 8.6% higher and are expected to jump an additional 5.5 to 6.5%. So not only did the government put restaurants out of business with the pandemic and its response, now those restaurants that survived are going to have an impossible time accessing the supplies necessary to cook their meals and keep their prices affordable so that consumers will continue to eat at these establishments. That's probably why they just replenished that fund with that $55 million. But don't worry, we're sending $800 million to Ukraine. Okay. The USDA noted the increase in interest rates by the Federal Reserve and the Russian invasion of Ukraine are key factors in the pressure on food prices. I thought that was at least a good note that it held the Federal Reserve responsible. Here are the foods to keep a close eye on and stock up on if you can. Poultry and eggs. I already touched on this one, obviously. Fats and oils. These products are expected to see a 6 to 7% jump in prices. Wholesale is expected to see a price jump of 27 to 30%. The largest estimate of all food groups. Fruits and vegetables. Fresh fruit is expected to rise 5 to 6%. Fresh veggies, 1 to 2%, which I thought that was, you can still get your veggies. Processed fruit and vegetables is expected to jump 4.5 to 5.5%. Sodas and other non-alcoholic beverages, 3.5 to 4.5%. Oh my God, my energy drinks. Sugar, sweet, cereal, and bakery, 3 to 4%. The government is straight trash at making accurate predictions with percentages, so please don't hold me accountable to their numbers. But as you can obviously see, things are expected to get much worse than they are at this moment. So prepare. What's the saying? Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. I think is how it goes, if I remember correctly. Okay. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great Thursday. I will see you tomorrow morning. You guys take care and have a great day.